Так, всем привет. Будем надеяться, что сегодня получится нормальный эфир. Так, ждем несколько минут, пока все подключатся и когда подключится наш гость. Сегодня у нас будет представитель Myddelton College. Это частная школа, которая находится в Великобритании. Школа очень интересная, такая своеобразная. Есть у нее одна особенность, которой нету, наверное, ни у одной другой школы. Это школа как выставочный образец Microsoft. Microsoft Showcase School называется. И они работают полностью на программном обеспечении Microsoft. Для них эта пандемия ударом большим не была, они были готовы, потому что практически все работает на программном обеспечении. Вот, кстати, подсоединился Myddelton College. Я надеюсь, что он сейчас сможет подключиться. Или я его подключу.
Так, очень надеюсь, что меня хорошо слышно и видно. Joel, hi.
Hello, Anton. How are you?
Good. Joel,
Yes.
can you hear me?
I can now. Yes, it just I don't know, got a bit strange then. Yes,
Yeah.
I can hear you. Perfect.
Yeah, sometimes it's happening. Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine.
Instagram. Nobody knows how it works. All this life.
Not not at all. No. Sometimes it's working. Sometimes who knows?
Yes. We had a bunch of lives, but some of them went well. Some of them not really well, and I had to change internet connection at home to the fastest one. So I really hope that it's gonna be well.
Well, we'll try our best, and we'll see what happens. I'm sure. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it will be okay.
Yes. Oh, I see that we have a lot of people connecting to us. Good. Okay, Joel. So I want to introduce you. So this is Joel. He is representative of Myddelton College and Eckhart School and the group of schools, IQ Group. I think in the end of our live we will talk about it. But today live is about Myddelton College. Myddelton College is very interesting boarding school in the United Kingdom. It's a Microsoft Showcase School. And today I think we will talk about it. Joe. So Joe, how is the situation with COVID now in the UK?
Anton, it's a very fun situation at the moment. It actually differs by each country, which is, I guess, difficult at the moment because for me, for example, I'm in England because part of our group is working from home, whereas the school is actually based in Wales. So in fact is under different COVID rules from us. So currently myself, I'm actually in England, which is under lockdown, which means all businesses, well, most businesses are closed in terms of shops, restaurants, bars, everything's closed. Hence why we're working from home. However, in Wales, where the school is located, they had it was called a firebreaker. And this was essentially 2 weeks of lockdown in which it was the same situation, shops, businesses closed for 2 weeks. And then they started up again, I believe, on the 9th of November. So, of course, it's made it a bit strange because Wales' 2-week firebreaker, this overlapped our lockdown that we have in England. So it's now becoming difficult for everyone to work out how travel between England and Wales and England and Scotland. And it's all different in each country, which makes it somewhat difficult. But it means that, the school has been open since the 2nd of September. It's been open and operating as usual, which is brilliant. And it coincided, the Welsh firebreaker 2-week period coincided with half term. So what the school was able to do was, so half term is usually 1 week, but what they were able to do was extend half term to 2 weeks to fit in with the firebreaker lockdown. So it meant that in terms of missing education, there was minimal time missed. And it also meant that all they've done now is added an extra week onto the end of term. So instead of finishing sort of beginning of December, there'll be an additional week. So it's been beneficial to us because it means that there has been the lockdown period, which means they've been able to follow it, but it means that no education's been missed due to this. I mean, in England as well, they've still got schools open. There's still, most people, if they can work from home, they will, but if they go to work, they will. So it's been a different lockdown to earlier on in the year when everything was shut, schools were shut completely. Whereas this time schools are still open. We have been open the entire time, and everything's to touch wood, everything's going well so far.
Okay, I see. So I talked today to another school on the phone, and they told that the news are quite positive in the UK now, and everybody's waiting for these new vaccines, and a lot of discussions about it in the news, and hopefully in spring something will really change. Hopefully.
Let's hope so. Yeah, I mean, there's been lots of different stories, hasn't there, in terms of vaccines? So I've seen two from, well, one from America, one from the UK, one from Russia. So I guess we'll have to see. We'll have to see what becomes available in the next couple of weeks or months. Who knows? No one knows how long.
Yes, okay, Joe. Can you tell in brief about boarding schools in the UK, how this system works, and why it's, I don't know, how do you call how it works, and why parents should send their children to the boarding school?
Absolutely. So in terms of the UK boarding school system, just sort of briefly about it, most of them are independent. So what this means is they're not controlled by the state, by the government. They're not run by the government. Usually these boarding schools or independent schools are run by a group of governors or perhaps a consortium that owns the school. This means that the curriculum in some ways can be altered in however the governors see fit. The majority of the time it follows a similar structure to how state schools are run and the curriculum that they follow. And of course, what's similar between state schools and independent schools is that they both offer the same exams at the end, which, so at 16 years old, there's GCSEs. For 18 years old, there's A-levels, and there are also some alternative options. So there's IB baccalaureate as well in some schools. This is generally offered by independent schools as well. One difference that independent schools may have compared with state schools is that these schools that will be able to offer pre-GCSE or pre-A-level programs. So what this is essentially a way of preparing students to be able to take these exams, for example, if they're international students that may not have started examinations of this kind or perhaps don't have the required academic skills to start these exams. So independent schools, a lot of them will offer these pre-GCSE, pre-A-level programs. In some independent schools, they will also offer a foundation program to university as well, which of course is a preparation to join university after school as well. So independent schools do have these sort of more, let's say, a flexible approach in how they can offer education, whereas in state education, so government-run schools, there will just be a set age group that you join and you will follow, you'll sit the exams, but there won't be as much support for you in terms of sitting these exams, whereas in the independent schools, they're able to offer this support. Furthermore, there is usually a smaller group of students in the school. So at Myddelton College, for example, we have just under 250 students in the entire school, compared with some state schools in the UK that can have, 800, 900 going into the thousands in one school. So there can be quite a large difference in terms of the numbers of students in the class and in the school, definitely. One of the benefits of this, of course, is with the smaller set of children, it means that there are smaller classrooms. So at Myddelton, for example, there is no more than 14, 15, 16 students in a class. So it's quite a small class size compared to in some schools that will have maybe 30 up to 35 students in their class. This is a benefit to the students because it means they have more interaction with the teachers. And it also means that they are able to learn at their own pace as opposed to being within a large group of students and just listening and taking in what they hear. So this is definitely one of the, let's say, the benefits of the UK boarding system. It means that these smaller class sizes and student to teacher ratio means that they're able to have a more personalized experience in their learning. So that's essentially the UK boarding system. And of course, being boarding, it means that there is boarding facilities available at the schools. In terms of Myddelton College, our boarding facilities are within the territory of the school. There are, I don't know, there may be schools that may have them outside of the territory, but the majority of schools I've found have their boarding within the school territory. This is good as well because it means for boarding students at the school, they become almost like a family while they're there. Because they form friendships with the people that they're staying with. A lot of the time there will be international students within the boarding. So it means that it gives them an opportunity to learn more about different cultures whilst both studying at school and being in their boarding facilities as well. And I mean, at the moment it's a little different due to coronavirus, but usually there's different activities offered by boarding as well. So it means that they're able to go out and do different activities. Yeah, as I say, at the moment it's slightly different because we're limited in where we can go, where we can travel. So usually, yes, there are different activities offered by boarding, but at the moment it's slightly different.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's talk about Myddelton College and about this small interesting thing. It's a Microsoft Showcase school, and can you tell us about Myddelton College and how do students study at this college?
Okay, well, I'll tell you a little bit about Myddelton College then. So we are based in North Wales. So we're based in a small town called Denbigh. There's about 10,000 people that live in Denbigh, so it's quite a small town there. So yeah, as I say, it's in the north of Wales. It's about 10 miles away from a town called Rhyl, which I guess would be the nearest large town close to the school. We're in a very good location in that we are based next to Snowdonia National Park, so it's an absolutely beautiful location. As you look out from the school, you can just see the hills of Wales, and it's a really beautiful place to be. It's on the edge of the town, which was actually an old fortress. Denbigh actually means small fortress, so it's got a beautiful kind of surrounding. It's about an hour and a half away from larger cities such as Manchester, so it's about an hour and a half away from Manchester Airport, and a similar time to Liverpool, about just over an hour to Chester. So although it's based in Snowdonia and it has quite a, let's say, an isolated feel in terms of where it's actually based, it's still very well connected. So not far away from train routes in terms of going to Rhyl, there's a train station there. And then in terms of international students flying to the UK to come to Myddelton, of course, we usually recommend that they fly to Manchester, being the nearest large airport. So as I mentioned earlier, we've got about, just under 250 students and then around 50 boarders. So most of our boarders, well, at the moment, actually, we've started to have more British boarders as well, but we've got quite a large international contingency in our boarding. In the school, I would say there's around a 70% to 30% split of British students and international students. So we have international students from quite literally around the world. So from Central Europe, from West Africa, we have from the Russian region just one, I'm afraid, but we're working on that. We have students from Southeast Asia and even from Central and South America as well. So we've got a really nice international feel at the school at Myddelton, which is brilliant. As you've mentioned actually, so we are a Microsoft Showcase school. So what that essentially means is it's an integration of education and technology. So this means then that the lessons that are carried out in the school and indeed the homework that the children will then do. This is all based on a Microsoft system. So the entire school is connected. So in all the classrooms, there are large screens that are connected through this Microsoft system. And this means that the teachers who have prepared the work on the Microsoft system can, share it to the screen. So it's available for all the children to see in the class. It also means that all the students will have their own device. So at the moment we are using iPads, but before we've used tablets, we've used Microsoft Surface tablets, and so it depends. But at the moment we're using iPads. And essentially what this will mean is the students complete their work on their iPad, so within the classroom, and then when they go home or go and do their extra work as well. So they will complete all the work through this Microsoft system. It's used basically through two different kind of mediums. There's Microsoft Teams, which allows the communication between students in the class and their teacher. So with Microsoft Teams, what they can do is the teachers can put lesson recordings onto Microsoft Teams. So the lessons are available at any time. So especially during the coronavirus pandemic, when international students had to, for example, go back to their respective countries, lesson recordings were still available on Microsoft Teams. So it meant that students were still able to access these lessons. There is also a kind of chat function on there and a video conferencing function as well. So it means that if a student, for any reason, I mean, at the moment, the most logical reason is not being able to come to the UK due to travel restrictions, students are still able to access lessons through the video conferencing. So they can even be within the class at the same time as other students, which is especially helpful for the students. It also means that the students can communicate with each other through Microsoft Teams if, for example, there's a group project, or if they need some feedback from a teacher, they're able to communicate through this system. In terms of the lessons are actually delivered through Microsoft OneNote, which is essentially a space which information is allowed to be shared and stored. So it has different areas. So there's like a student area where the student has their kind of private area where they have their, for example, their activities for the day, their homework that they can complete. There's a teacher's area in which the teacher will store their, resources that they will need for the lessons and to send out for homework. And there's also a collaborative space as well. So it means that students are actually able to work together within a particular place. So if there is a group project set for, let's say, a homework task, it means they can still complete this within Microsoft OneNote. So essentially it's a way for the students to be more connected, to be more, let's say, savvy with technology by using having their education through this. So it means that they're going to be way more connected, both with teachers, with other students. It means that parents can actually keep track of it as well. So it means that because it's all online, it means parents have access to it as well. And it means when they finish their schooling and they go onto university, onto work in the future, they will already have this knowledge of how to use this technology efficiently. So every year, so far every year we've been picked for it, and it's a brilliant opportunity. All the staff are trained in it, so it means that there's no kind of teachers not too sure what to do. Everyone's trained in how to use it. So it's a brilliant opportunity for students to be able to integrate their education within technology.
Okay, I see. I think the next question will be from parents. What do they do, children after classes? Do they often sit in their iPads or, I don't know, iPhones? So if they have it a lot in class, so what are the sports activities and other things to do in Myddelton?
I would like to hope that students aren't sitting on their iPads all day. I mean, hopefully now it's difficult with activities because of lockdown. That being said, there are still a wealth of activities offered at Myddelton College that can be done within the school territory anyway. So especially at the moment, in terms of the borders, they have been doing, well, up until the weather changing now, they've been doing a lot of outdoor activities. So we've got a lot of different sports facilities available. So in our sports centre, they're able to do a number of different sports indoors. There is a climbing wall in the sports centre as well, so they can do quite different activities such as climbing. Outdoors as well, we've got different sports pitches. We've got rugby pitches and football pitches, so they can, I remember when we visited earlier on in September, they were planning a football tournament for the weekend, so For boarders, there are still activities that they can do within the school territory. Of course, these will be after school activities as well during normal times. So this will be activities that everyone's able to attend. So a lot of different sports available. And then for people that may not particularly want to do sports, there are activities available for more, let's say, more academic activities available. So there'll be, for example, language classes, for example, Chinese, or there is even an extracurricular class for Welsh, because as the school is based in Wales, it would be quite interesting to learn more about the Welsh language, as it is very different to the English language. So it's something that students can do if they want. There's also more relaxed activities such as yoga, or we have a sort of mindfulness group where it's almost a way to sort of meditate and relax after, you know, studying quite hard throughout the day. They're able to do this as sort of an alternative. We also have different activities such as film clubs. So as the boarders particularly enjoy this in the evenings, and at the weekends they can have different film viewings. It's up to them really. The good thing about in the boarding is that the boarding parents are always open to different ideas. So if students have a particular idea that they would want to do, or they've all decided, right, we want to do this sport or this activity, the boarding parents can help with this. So they're very democratic when it comes to the choices being offered. So it's not just today you're doing this, today you're doing this. There's the opportunity to talk it through, and if there's a particular activity, then this is made available. When travel is slightly more, well, not as it is now, and they're able to travel, of course there are more extracurricular activities, more excursions that are available. So in terms of these activities, so in the local town of Rill, there's all the kind of things that you would need in terms of cinema, bowling. There's a dry ski slope as well. So there are different activities that they can do nearby. And in terms of excursions further out, there are, for example, so they can go to Chester, which is a large town in England sort of nearby. There's a zoo in Chester, which is very popular, of course. And then there's also, they can do trips to Manchester and to Liverpool. So as I mentioned earlier, they're about an hour and a half away. And in Manchester and Liverpool, of course, very big metropolitan cities. So there's loads of things to do when you're in those two cities. Of course, the students generally would like to go shopping there because great shopping in both those towns. So in terms of activities available, there is a lot to do. Of course, there are excursions further afield as well. So sometimes there might be a planned trip to London or a planned trip to Oxford, for example. So there are different activities available. Of course, it always comes back to coronavirus, so these are limited at the moment. But we hope very, very near in the future that we'll be able to start taking these excursions again and being able to go and do some different things.
Yeah, that's hope. Yeah, very interesting. And another question I think will be about academic results and university placements. Where do students go usually after the school? And what are the results for A-levels and GCSEs usually?
So I can give you the results. I've got them here just so I've got them all correct. So our results from 2020 were brilliant. So in terms of our A-level results, we had 78% of students achieve grades from A star to B in all subjects, which of course is brilliant.
Very great.
And in terms of the destinations that students went on to, we had students go on to Warwick University, to Loughborough, to the University of Manchester, University of Durham, and the London universities as well, King's College, University College, and Imperial. All excellent universities in the UK, sort of top 20, top 50 universities. So again, brilliant choices from the students. And just in terms of our international students, we had one student, Konstantin, who is, I believe, from Russia. He managed to achieve some excellent results in A-levels. He got 2 A stars, an A and a B, and ended up going on to study business management at London City University. So in terms of, for example, if there are parents that wonder how do international students do coming over to the UK, having a different, let's say a different style of education compared to in their native countries, we still see success within all of our students, both British and international. And obviously Konstantin was a great example of this, as he did excellent and now he's studying a very good degree at a very good university. So we had excellent A-level results. GCSEs were along a similar path of excellence, really. We had 100% pass rate, which of course is excellent, amazing. So 100% pass rate, A star to C. And again, 78% of the students achieved A star and A grades in their GCSEs. I know it's different now. It's a numbered system as opposed to A, B, C, and D. But we've actually it's easier just to mention it this way. So yeah, 78% of the students achieved A star and A grades, which is fantastic. So academic results at Myddelton, always brilliant. It's great because we can offer all these different activities in terms of being able to provide a holistic view to education, being able to offer not just an excellent education, but being able to offer rounding skills that will help them not just in academics but in life as well. One of the things that I forgot to mention actually in terms of programs we offer is called Learning Through the Outdoors, which is something that we offer at Myddelton. And what that is essentially it's every 2 weeks the students will have a lesson up to the age of 16, I believe. And they will basically go out and do different outdoor activities, either in the local area or even on the school territory. So what this will be is, for example, students will go out, they can do things such as hiking. So being so close to Snowdonia National Park, it's a perfect place to go for hiking and go mountain biking, for example. They can go to, there's rivers and stuff nearby where they can go and do canoeing and kayaking. From what I saw from the latest newsletter, they were going to be looking for some fossils. I believe the Year 8 group were going to go and do some fossil finding. And then they can just, it's a wealth of outdoor activities that are available. And it's a great way for students to learn skills that they may not particularly have or find in the classroom. So again, it gives them confidence to go out into the world and learn these things, work as a team with their classmates, build up that confidence that they may not particularly find in the classroom. And of course, it gives students an opportunity to not just be in the classroom, but it gives them an opportunity to go out into the real world as well, which is always welcomed, I believe. So the good thing about Myddelton is, as well as being able to have an excellent education, receiving excellent results, as I've mentioned, there are also different ways in which the children will learn skills that will help them in the future.
Okay, I see. Very interesting school. And as I know, there is another school which is part of the group of schools where the Myddelton College is. So it's Охватили College. Can you tell just a little bit about Охватили College also?
Охватили School.
Охватили School, sorry.
No worries. Yes, so IQ Schools Group has a sister school, which is Охватили School for Girls. This is an all-girls school, is based in Shropshire. So this is about 10 minutes away from a town called Shrewsbury. And this, again, is about an hour away from Birmingham, Manchester. So it's relatively central, slightly more to the west compared to the actual centre. But again, very well connected in terms of where it is. In terms of numbers, Охватили School has, I believe, just under 200 students at the moment and around 40 to 45 boarders. Slightly less than usual, but again, this is due to coronavirus. There's slightly lower numbers at both schools in terms of boarding. And Охватили, again, is a brilliant school. So I can tell you more about, so they offer a program in how they offer their learning. And this is called the CLEAR Learning Program. So CLEAR, that stands for Confidence, Leadership, Engagement, Achievement, and Resilience. And so how this is sort of integrated into the learning is that teachers, the headmistress, and the students themselves, actually, they operate on these different principles within all of aspects of their learning. And they all work with each other, which is the main aim, really. So in terms of being confident in the classroom, this will help you to achieve more. Having resilience will, of course, give you more confidence. It will give you the skills to become more confident. It will offer you leadership abilities as well. So all of the different aspects of the CLEAR Learning Program all complement each other. And this is what helps the girls to succeed in Охватили. Of course, being an all-girls school as well, it means that there is, let's say, less distraction from boys. So it means that the girls are able to have an education at their own pace, and they're able to develop both mentally and academically at their own pace. So it means that they have this confidence to be able to, especially in subjects that may be dominated by boys usually, so maybe sciences, maths, something like this, they're able to have the confidence to be able to study and do that at their own pace, which of course helps them in the future as they're able to, you know, they're able to achieve in their own way. So yeah, it really is a brilliant school, and there is a real strong focus on this clear learning program. In year 12 at Adcut School, so in the first year of sixth form, the school offers a CRM qualification. So this is essentially an additional qualification offered by the school, and this is in management and leadership. So as well as their A-levels, when they get to sixth form, they will have their A-levels, and they will also sit this additional qualification as well, which of course gives them leadership skills and helps them to, again, with the clear learning program, be more confident, experience these leadership skills. And at the end of the education, they have their A-levels and they have this additional qualification. So then when they go on to apply for university or to apply for jobs in the future, they have this qualification. Universities look very strongly upon it. It is a great addition to have to any of the girls' CV or resume or university application. So it's something that isn't actually offered by, as far as I'm aware, many of the schools in the region. So it's definitely one of the advantages of studying at Adcut School. But yeah, so we have two very beautiful schools really in terms of their locations. So Adcut is set in the sort of Shropshire countryside. Again, views from the school are just absolutely stunning. The school itself sits on 30 acres of land, so it means that, you know, the girls can go for walks during break times, lunch times, after school as well. It's a large territory that they're able to just, you know, walk around and experience. In the summer, it's absolutely amazing. We went to visit in September, and it's really, really beautiful place. And yeah, in terms of activities offered at Adcut School, it's a similar case to Myddelton in that we offer a range of different sporting activities, and then more academic subjects are available as well. We even offer a 5 o'clock tea, sort of like a British type club at Adcut. So I find it's quite popular with international students that want to experience this very traditional traditional activity that is offered. But they get to sit down and drink tea and talk about different British ideas and traditions and why we even sit and drink 5 o'clock tea, that kind of thing. So there are a range of different activities offered at Adcut, sporting as well. There is a stable there as well, so there's things such as horse riding are available at Adcut. So yeah, there are a wealth of activities available at Adcut School as well.
Yeah, yeah. Very interesting, Joe. Thank you very much. It was excellent. I think it was one of the best slides that we have in our Instagram.
Oh, thank you.
It was most informative. I think you answered main questions.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Well, I'm glad I was able to do this. Thank you to everyone that was watching, and thank you, Anton, for the opportunity.
Just a second. We have a question from our subscriber.
Okay.
Is Myddelton horse friendly?
Is Myddelton what, sorry?
Horse friendly.
Horse friendly? Horse,
yeah, like for horse riding.
That's a very good question, actually. Thank you to whoever asked that question. It's horse friendly, of course, in that if there was someone that wanted to do horse riding, for example, we would be able to facilitate that. From what I remember, I don't remember there being a stable there, but I believe there are plans for a stable to be built at the school in the very near future. There was a piece of land sort of right next to the territory that was, I think, in the process of being turned into a stable. So I'm not sure exactly when that will be done, but still horse friendly. And yes, if there is something like that, such as horse riding, where there's an activity that I may not have mentioned but someone may want to do at the school, we can always look into trying to facilitate that for somebody. Yes.
Okay, very good. Just let me check. So there are no more questions. Okay, thank you very much, Joe.
Thank you, Anton.
Really interesting. It was really great. So I think we can make another live about Edcott School. I'm sorry, and we can talk much more about it because it's also very interesting school, and it's about it's a girls' school. It's very difficult to describe it, and I think parents will need, I don't know, to get information from the first.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be happy to talk more about Edcott School in a different life.
There is one more question.
Okay.
Sorry.
No worries.
Is the swimming pool where triathletes can train?
There is an outdoor pool at the school, yes. In terms of an indoor pool, there is not, but there is very strong links with the indoor swimming baths, which is, I believe, in Denby or very nearby. So for students that are competing in swimming or something along those lines, there is, very strong connection with the local swimming bath, so they're able to have their lessons there. And there is the outdoor pool there at the school as well. But yeah, so for example, at Myddelton, they actually offer elite triathlon training. So there is a specialist coach that comes in and trains the students in terms of triathlon. So yeah, this is where they're able to complete the kind of the swimming part of that, and so that is available. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think that's it. There are no questions. So thank you very much. Hope to see you.
Thank you very much, Anton. I appreciate it. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.